Pamela Swearingen Gates, class of 1966. Her senior year, Pam Swearingen Gates was Helen of Troy, Foothill's queen at the football carnival held at Bakersfield College Memorial Stadium, and president and concertmaster of the Foothill High School Orchestra under the fabulous Mr. Miller. She went on to a career as a professional studio violinist, performing in over 500 television and motion picture scores, including the recent Margot Robbie movie Babylon, Star Trek, Spider-Man, 12 Years on The Simpsons TV show, and many others. She was on camera and performed in the final episode of Happy Days. She has played on records with Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Prince, James Brown, Smokey Robinson, Earth, Wind & Fire, Barbra Streisand, Trisha Yearwood, Michael Bublé, and Frank Sinatra, among many others. She continues to play on tour with Andrea Bocelli. One of the standout events of her career was performing in the opening and closing ceremonies of the 1984 Olympics, along with playing 12 years in the Academy Awards Orchestra. Add to the list the Emmys, Grammys, Tonight Show, American Idol, and The Voice, as well as 30 years with the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra and the Pasadena Symphony. Pam continues to serve on the board of directors for the American Federation of Musicians Union, working for the past 20 years to ensure that LA musicians receive good wages and working conditions. And for the past 10 years, Pam has been a member of LA's Harmony Project, teaching underserved inner-city children. Congratulations to Pamela Swearingen Gates on your induction into the Foothill High Hall of Fame.
Was my inspiration. Others might go to the movies and be in love with a movie star. I was ignoring the movie stars. I just listened to beautiful scores and said, oh my God, that's what I want to do. And my parents took me to films every weekend at the Tejon Theater. Anybody remember that? Sometimes double features. And the movie Summer of 42 was a huge inspiration to me. The score was by Michel Legrand, and it just embedded in my skull. And I said, I've got to play like that. I've got to play in an orchestra that records for movies. And of course, big band music was always played in my home. My mom and dad loved Frank Sinatra and Rosemary Clooney, and so that was also wired in me. And then, so it just came to pass that I knew it was the strings that were my favorite thing. So I said, the violin's gotta be it. And my grandpa in Nebraska had a violin, and he sent it to me. Because my parents, they didn't understand orchestral music or music in the schools, so it wasn't a big deal to them. But when that violin arrived from my grandfather, I was enrolled in the music program at River Boulevard. Anybody remember that? Now it's called Noble Elementary, I think Noble. So I was in that program, wonderful teachers, and then Washington Junior High, and then my parents bought a house in 1962 up in the northeast part of Bakersfield, brand new development. I was thrilled because we were still in the East Bakersfield High School school district. That's where I wanted to go. Brick buildings, huge trees, and a fabulous music program. So I was on cloud nine. Then my mother came in one day and she said that my neighborhood had just been redistricted, and I was not going to be able to go to East High. I curled up and went into a shock mode. And she said, you are going to a brand new school called Foothill in the farmlands. She said it was in the farmlands. I didn't know what that meant. There are no trees, no brick buildings, and hardly any music program. So I thought, how could this happen to me? My life is over. Well, there was no way I could have known at that time that this twist of fate would be a blessing in disguise. As it turned out, Foothill, the orchestra, our wonderful music teacher, Mr. Miller, I don't think he's here. Is Mr. Miller here? Anyway, they were all incredible, and I blossomed and was ecstatic to be at Foothill, and my worries had been for nothing. So the blessings didn't stop there. One day, I was practicing, and during my lunch, I always took lunch and practiced in the orchestra room, and there was a knock on the door, and it was Mr. Johnson, the brand new principal of the school. And he said, I want to see Pam Swearingen outside. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? I panicked. So he took me in the hall and he told me the news that you've already seen. I was supposed to be the very first Helen of Troy and also football queen. So I was shocked. I said, how did this happen? Why me? I wasn't elected to any of this, but that was 1965, the fall of 1965. I had a wonderful time with these honors, and I'm so appreciative. So then off I went to San Diego State, and every weekend I was a music ed major, but also violin. Every weekend I worked for Oscar Amezcua and the Magic Violins in Tijuana. We were strolling violins, beautiful tuxes for the guys in gowns, and we would start work every Friday and Saturday night at 10 p.m. and finish at 2 in the morning, and then drive back. So I had fun, and I made some good money. So then I went up to USC and started a Master of Music Education degree, and that was in the late 70s. Well, something unbelievable happened. One day, my professor of violin said he was not feeling well, and would I please go to a job for him at Capitol Records. The job started at 10 p.m., and he didn't want to go. So I went. It turned out it was the IM record for Earth, Wind, and Fire. And we recorded until 3 in the morning. And that was it. I said, this is what I want to do forever and ever. This is so much fun. So then in the 80s, I went back to USC, this time just as a full-fledged Master of Music performance in violin. This was hard knocks. I was with all the heavyweight violinists from all over the country. I had to work like crazy. The reason I could do this was my husband at the time, Bill Henderson, just let me practice all day, go to school, and get this accomplished. And I did. It was really wonderful. So I'm so appreciative to him. Then, I told you about Michel Legrand and the score to Summer 42. It's a miracle. I have worked with him many, many times. I've done motion pictures and records, and it was my dream come true. He had a manager that was my friend. Good to have good friends in the important places. So he helped me get in the circle of Michel. And we all went to Paris together. I worked in Paris with Michel. And it was just a dream come true. So my Foothill experience set me on a course for a beautiful career where I would work with and befriend unbelievable film composers. And my dear friend Dennis Spiegel, and he was nominated for an Academy Award. He's a famous lyricist. He has kind of guided me through knowing wonderful, wonderful composers. I'm so grateful to him. My Foothill High during high school days continues to be fabulous now. Look where I am. I'm in a room with this gorgeous night. Thank you. honored to be among all the other inductees. I've only met 2 of you. I want to meet all of you by the end of the night, so we have to work the room, please. And congratulations to all the other inductees. It's been a pleasure to meet all of you and the organizers of this wonderful event. Bill Baker, John Alexander, Dave, I didn't write Dave's name down, and Michelle Mills. She was always saying, send in your pictures, send in the video. Who are your guests? She is unbelievable, she was so cute. And then Bill Baker, who got me to send my CDs, but I don't know where they are. Anyway, we'll find out later. And another thing I want to acknowledge is my wonderful friends. 10 people came to be at my table. I live in West Hollywood, so 10 people are right over there. And they are Kathy Paulus, Susan Schwetke, and Dr. Bob Carnes from Beverly Hills, Rich Eglin, who also went to Foothill, and he lives in Encino, and my wonderful boyfriend, Joel Iritaki, lives in Westwood. They're all from the LA area, but my gorgeous friends from Bakersfield that are still here. Terry Jones went to Foothill. She was a cheerleader. Fran and Greg Gunner hosted a nice big party for us. Thank you so much. And Drew and Mike Kovacevic. His father started this country club. Oh my God. Anyway, such a pleasure to be up here and be honored. Thank you to each and every one of you. I'm so appreciative and humbled. Thank you.